Well, I think our group
Um,
is mostly here, right? If he
uh,
wants
Yeah,
to join
everybody's
in, we'll
here.
just let him in. But I'd love to start with Tom so we can hear from him for the next hour and ask all our questions. So are you guys ready to go?
Sounds
We're
good.
All
ready.
right, we're
Yeah.
going to spotlight our special guest speaker, Tom. He is a member of the board of directors for the New Haven Symphony Orchestra, and he is going to tell us a little bit about his role there and how they're making the orchestra experience a little bit more accessible for people of all abilities. Is that right, Tom?
That's exactly right. And nice to meet all of you. And I'm already a little bit jealous, Alexandra, of your playroom. I wish I had a playroom here in
Aww.
my boring little
Wow, I like
office.
that.
We
But
have a playroom too for my
oh,
nephews and my niece.
I'm jealous. And but it's very nice to meet all of you, and I'm very appreciative and thankful that you guys let me join your group today. But as Debbie mentioned, so I'm on the board of the New Haven Symphony Orchestra, and I'm involved in a lot of other organizations around town. And one of the things that surprised me as I got more involved in the community, which is really important, is of course helping those around you is that they wanted somebody who was young to join them and help them out. And it required me to think a little bit about, we normally think about what kind of people are, oh, sorry, there were,
Please put yourself on mute if you have background. I'm sorry, Tom.
no, no,
Everybody can
that's
put
totally
themselves on
fine.
mute. That would be great.
But I was only just saying that as you think about, what's kind of a valuable perspective, and you normally think of a certain type of person. And for me, I was thinking that they only wanted to hear from older people with more experience. But in fact, they actually have been very eager and have wanted to hear more from me because I'm young. And so it really required me to think about what makes me unique and how I can bring that uniqueness to what I do. And for um, the symphony plays classical music in a bunch of different venues. It plays at Yale University. It plays at Southern at the Lyman Center, which I think you've all been to, maybe. Debbie, did you say something that maybe you guys have been to the Lyman Center, or I don't know if any of you have.
I know I
You
have.
have.
No, what is the interest I actually want to visit and learn and like observe.
Yeah, you definitely should, and hopefully there's an opportunity for you guys all to go to the symphony, which performs at the Lyman Center. It performs at Yale University. It also performs at a lot of different high schools around the state. And part of why it goes to so many different places because it wants to touch people with music. It wants people to hear the kind of music that they're playing, which is both really old music. So some of the musical pieces are 200 years old. Some of them are 300 years old. And then some of them somebody might have created 10 or 15 years ago. And the music can be really powerful for a lot of people. It could be relaxing, it could be healing, it could be a moment to reflect and think about yourself and think about other people. And so for me, I've been really excited to be a part of the New Haven Symphony Orchestra because the more I can help them, the more people they can reach, and the more people can be affected by music. So I don't know if you guys listen to classical music or listen to Mozart or Beethoven or anything like that. But it's a lot of music like that that the symphony plays. I'm happy to answer any other questions or go more in depth, whatever you think, Debbie, but that's a bit about what I do. And I'm especially focused on how can the symphony get more people to attend? How can they get younger people into the audience and play and do more interesting things, which they're already doing?
I see a couple of our athletes have their hand up, so maybe we can go to some questions if you're okay with that, Tom, and then maybe
Yeah.
circle back and tell us a little bit more. So, Natasha, you have your hand up. Do you want to go first with your question? Here's Natasha. Just unmute yourself there.
Uh, good good afternoon. My name is Natasha Cole. I'm a I'm a global messenger. I'm a coach for Special Olympics, and also I am I do I do Special Olympics events, and and the and the questions I would like to ask you: have you performed in New York City? Have you tried Broadway?
Well, thanks for the question. I have been to Broadway. I don't know how to play any musical instruments. I love music, and I'm in my office now. I have a radio right next to me. I have a record player in my other room, and so I love always having music on and listening to music. And I like going to plays. And I've been to Broadway, but I've never played in anything before. But I do love Broadway. Have you been to Broadway?
Mhm.
What did you see?
Oh boy, I have I saw like um Disney so far, and then there's I know and also Wicked.
Oh, that's a
Oh.
crazy play because they have so many special effects and fireworks and people
Yes,
swinging around the stage.
and I know there's a big famous movie. No, Mamma Mia.
Mm. The songs in Mamma Mia are very addicting. And I'm glad you asked too, because for Christmas, actually, one of the things that my family and I we decided we would all do together is go to a Broadway play, and we want to go see the new Harry Potter play because it sounds like it's really cool that they're going to be on stage and they're going to be using their wands for magic, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited to see how they do those special effects.
Thank you.
Thanks, Natasha. Okay, let's see. I think Allie had her hand up, so let's go to Allie next.
Hi, Tom. I listed some questions for you on email. I'm not sure if Debbie sent them to you.
I haven't gotten them yet, so I would love if you ask them now. I'd be happy to answer anything you have.
Okay, well, just answer as much as you can. Have you ever done like any Disney performances or Christmas stuff from last year?
Well, we didn't do any well, we definitely do Christmas performances, and we play a lot of Christmas music.
Hmm.
The last performance that they did with Christmas music is they used a lot of brass bells. So, like if you think about
Oh, wow.
a lot of the Christmas songs use brass instruments, and they use a lot of bells.
Hmm.
And so there was a whole section of the performance where there was maybe 12 people on stage and each of them had different sized bells. So one of the guys on one end, he had this huge bell, and then there was somebody on the other end which had this super little tiny bell. And the whole performances, they were all playing them, and of course, they were making different sounds because of the different sizes.
Did you have a favorite Christmas carol that they performed?
Hmm. I don't I don't know if I have a favorite one that they performed, but if you know the song "The Hark the Herald,"
Oh,
Angels
that's one of my
Sing,
favorites. I like
that's my
classical.
favorite.
Yes.
Yeah. And like what Natasha said, I've been to Broadway before. I saw a couple of plays from Disney from the past.
Oh right, that was also another question you had about Disney.
Yes.
Um, we didn't do any Disney ones, but I did recently go to and I saw that Kimberly also made a comment in the chat about the Bushnell. So
Mhm.
recently I went to the Bushnell, and you know the movie Elf with
Oh,
Will.
well, funny. He's
So
funny.
they played that movie, and then the Hartford Symphony Orchestra, they played the music to accompany the movie. And so there
Mhm.
was no music from the speakers. It was only the music coming from the symphony while everybody watched the movie on the big screen. So that was pretty cool.
So which one do you like better, Special Olympics or what you're doing now?
What do I like Special Olympics?
If you had to choose, which one do you like better, doing your career or Special Olympics?
Oh, of course, Special Olympics. I'm talking to you guys.
Of course, yeah.
When Debbie told me everything that you guys do, I was so impressed. I couldn't believe it. And so I was so excited to talk to you guys today.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. And my one more question I was going to ask you. I work at a home called Benchmark, and the residents love like performances from other companies, or they like to go out to different places. Is there a way to get them tickets to get involved to see like one of your concerts?
Yeah, you should just talk to Debbie and we can find hopefully an opportunity there. Everybody is always welcome at the Symphony. So hopefully I'll see you guys there in the future too.
Because I have a friend that I work with. Her name is Teresa, and I could always ask her because she does the activities with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let Debbie know and we'll get connected.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks
Thanks,
for your
Sally.
questions.
Yep.
And Nick's got his hand up. Let's go to Nick's question next.
Hi. So my question is, do you have like any employment though for people who have a passion though, who have a passion for music though? Like for example, for your local symphony though, like, do you guys have any like employment no, like any kind of employment for people who have a passion for music? Because that's
So
like my dream.
yeah, so everybody that's what I love so much about being involved in the symphony is that everybody is so passionate about what they do. And it's interesting to see how everybody's so passionate, but passionate about different things. So somebody might be really passionate about a particular type of instrument and they really love the violins and they like the strings. Or somebody else might really love the piano. Then somebody else might really like the writing and the composition and the conducting. And then somebody else might like something completely different, but everybody is so passionate about music that you realize that there are so many different sides to it. So hopefully that answered your question. And if it didn't,
Yeah,
just, you
yeah,
know,
it did. It did. Thank you.
of course.
Thanks,
And,
Nick.
and I'll just add too, because I don't play an instrument, I think it's so impressive that people who do play an instrument, and what I'm especially passionate about, I really like music that when they play the music, like I said in the beginning, some of the music is 200 years old. And I love listening to music that when you hear it, you can really get a sense of the time period. So there was a piece of music that they played at a performance, I think a few times ago now. And I think they wrote it in the 1700s. And it was about a Russian revolution. And you can hear in the music all the soldiers marching through the big square, and you can hear them marching on the Capitol, and you can hear the sounds of the cannons or the big drums.
Oh, my.
And it was really cool. And it was really powerful. And it made me feel like I was really connected to that period in time.
Really? Because Tom, because I think you might know a wonderful movie like there is Omar Sharif, Julie Christie, and Dr. Zhivago,
Hmm.
that sort of thing.
Exactly right. That's
Mhm.
exactly right.
Yep, I love that movie.
Do you
Really.
have people sing like when you have like a special performance concert or anything?
If do they sing?
Like any special celebrities or anything like that?
Well, I haven't seen any celebrities yet. But what we did do was we had a tribute to Aretha Franklin. So there was a
Oh yeah,
performance
I miss her.
and there was an Aretha Franklin impersonator who went, and she was so incredible because, of course, Aretha Franklin is incredible. Uh, and if anybody who doesn't know her, she's the one who sings Respect.
That one, yeah.
And then they also did one, and this was one of my favorites, was of Nat King Cole. So it was a little bit
Oh,
older and a lot more, a little bit older than Aretha Franklin, but I really loved it. And so they do some of those impersonations of celebrities. Um, and then I see Brittany have a question, but I just want to answer Kimberly. You put some questions in the chat, and you asked if I have a favorite musical instrument. Um, that's hard because I don't play anything, but if I could play anything, I would probably like to play the piano. I
Oh
think you can do
really?
so many different things on the piano. You also asked if I have a role model. It's probably my dad. I think my dad is a really strong role model in my life for a lot of reasons. He has a really good work ethic. He wakes up every morning at the same time and he goes to work and he never complains. even though I complain a lot. But I think it's also important that you find little things in everybody around you. So a lot of my friends, I think, are role models to me also, and that's why they're my friends. And so they do little things that I really admire, and I try and pick up what they do. And I'd like to think too that I'm a role model to them in some ways, and that they try and pick up some of the things that I do. Um, you also asked if I've seen the Nutcracker. I haven't, but I know the music and I love it.
I have the soundtrack.
I have seen it
Me
before.
too.
I have the soundtrack and the
Oh, you
video.
guys have all seen it?
Yes.
I think like
Yeah.
I seen the
I've heard of
cartoon
it.
version of it.
Yeah,
Mm.
we
I
done
asked-
like we done
I
a
actually
production
saw
like
the
marching
production
band.
with my brother and my sister-in-law. It was awesome.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I mean, it just looks like it's, very whimsical and like a fairy tale, and a lot of magic in it. And so you also asked, how does a symphony pick who's playing what instrument? So it's kind of like a company. So if you're if somebody owns a coffee shop and they need somebody who's a barista so that they could make coffee, they're going to put out a job opening and they're going to say, we're looking for a barista. And then a barista is going to apply and they'll get the job. And the same thing if they need somebody who needs to sweep the floors or whatever. The symphony is a company. And so they put out job openings and they say, we're looking for somebody who can play the violin or the cello or the piano. And then people apply, of course, and then they get accepted. And the New Haven Symphony Orchestra is a very prestigious orchestra. And so it's very competitive to get accepted to join. And so that's what makes it such a fabulous orchestra. Do you have a favorite instrument, Kimberly?
I actually did play the piano.
Oh, you
I
play the piano.
Yeah,
I did too.
So do I.
and then in school I did piano, guitar, and I was in the choir for 8 years.
Oh, wow. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely jealous. And you play it too. And is it Anita
No,
Cella?
it's Nick,
Oh,
but like on the
Nick.
computer screen, on the computer screen, it's my mother's. But
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah,
So you play piano too?
yeah, I play all like any kind of like any kind of song, like whether it's classical or if it's like Italian too, like or any kind of style of music. I just pick like a song and it just pops in my head. Like I just learned to play it, which I am like I play it by ear. So
Oh,
like
wow.
yeah, so like I would like listen to like a song, like what key and how does it go, and then I just pick it up, like just put it on, like just put turn on the piano, and I just start playing it.
That's super special. And I'll be curious if anybody else plays any instruments, but you said Italian and I'm Italian. And so there was and somebody else asked a question that I'll get to after. Brittany asked about in a private message who were my musical influences growing up, and it was a lot of Italian music.
Tom,
Um,
you know Italian?
I don't speak Italian, but a lot of Italian music was my influence growing up because
Mm-hmm.
my great grandparents were immigrants from Italy, and
Really?
they lived in New
Really?
Haven.
Yeah, because I'm actually going to Italy this June for the first time.
Oh, wow, where are you going?
Let's see, we're going June 14th through the 24th. We're going like all over. We're going to Rome, to Tuscany, to Florence, and end up in Venice.
Oh, you're gonna have an amazing time because the food is so good. It's
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful. Everybody is so nice. Um,
I'm sure, yeah.
I love it there, and that's a long time. That's 10 days, so you're gonna have plenty of time.
I'm
Because my
also
great
in Italy as
grandparents,
well.
they were born in Italy also.
Oh,
My
do you know where?
I think Castle Franc.
Okay,
One of
very
them.
cool. My great grandparents were born in a place called Amalfi, which is on the coast, and it's
Okay.
super beautiful. I mean, everywhere in Italy is beautiful.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I know
and
when you mention Italian music, maybe I'll try to hear some to tell
yeah,
you.
well, maybe I'll try and play some music too before we get off the call, so I can show you what were my musical influences.
Good idea.
That would be amazing, Tom.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you,
We have a
Tom.
couple more hands up, I see. Do we want to go over to Alexandra next?
Sure, or Brittany.
Yes.
Or Brittany? Do you
We'll
want was Brittany waiting longer? Okay, Alexandra, hold on tight. We're going to go to Brittany next, and then we go to you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Britt, you're up. Oh, Brittany, you're on mute.
I
Unmute
can't
yourself
hear.
and ask your
Does
question.
anybody play the flute?
What was that, Britt?
Does anybody play the flute?
Does anybody play the flute?
I don't. Does anybody on the call play the flute?
No,
I
but
used to have a tutor
that's
flute
another
back in
I really
Williamsburg, but it's gone
Hold
now.
on, Nick. Nick's got something to say. Hold on. Yep, go ahead, Nick.
I think the flute is another thing I've really wanted to learn to play too, especially I did play the violin when I was in elementary school from third grade, and then when I started listening to the flute and the saxophone and all that, that was something I really wanted to That's another kind of instrument I really wanted to learn.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And I think that's the great thing. Like you could pick up an instrument at any age, right? There's no limit.
Yeah, any age, I could just pick it up and just play.
Thanks, Nick. And Britt, are you all set or did you have another question?
I'm all set.
All right. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate that. All right, Alexander, you're up next.
Of course. Do you like listening to different kinds of music?
I love listening to different kinds of music because
I do a lot.
what's your
I've been
favorite?
listening to the Just Dance Orchestra. That's another band.
The Justice Orchestra?
Just Dance Orchestra.
Oh, Just Dance Orchestra. I'll have to look
It
them
has
up.
like
I don't know them.
Swan Lake. You seen Swan Lake?
I have seen I haven't seen it in person, but I've watched a recording of it online, which is another thing too. You know, I know that several of you guys have been to Broadway, but you don't even have to go all the way. You can just go on YouTube and you can watch all of these performances right there on your computer. But so you Just Dance Orchestra and you like Swan Lake?
Yes. And this other orchestra that sounds pretty good. It's our orchestra cinematic.
Well, I'll have to. I'll write it down so I can look at it after the call.
It has like Britney Spears music and definitely the cover of different kinds of theme songs.
I love that. And it's good that you listen to different music too, because sometimes if you listen to the same music over and over again, it gets a little bit boring. Yeah, I think it's important you have to spice it up a bit.
I'm into old school music.
So I noticed that Bobby asked in the chat, what is your favorite old school songs of the 80s from Bobby Peterson? Now we're talking about different kinds of music, right, Bobby?
Oh.
Yep.
Of the 80s? That's a great question.
That's me too.
Well, start off by telling me yours.
Go ahead, Bobby. What's yours?
My favorite 80s song is Survivor, The Eye of the Tiger.
Oh,
Nope.
I love that one.
Number
Me
2 is
too.
1988 Metallica 1. They talk about people fighting the war, fight for freedom. And number 3, my favorite one is it's another one. Michael Jackson, Hear the Word. Michael Jackson, Hear the Word. That's my favorite song. And the Thriller.
Those are good.
I like that song too.
Those are good picks. And I don't know. It's not 80s. I think it's 70s. And so I might be cheating a little bit, but I love ABBA.
Somebody's brought up Mamma Mia before, I think, right?
Yeah, somebody, right. Was that you, Natasha? You're going to see, you saw Mamma Mia? I love ABBA.
Ooh.
Is there anybody that didn't ask a question yet that would like to? Alicia, why don't you? Oh, I see Alicia and Jake. Okay, go ahead, Alicia. Why don't you go next?
Thank you. Is it very tricky to get
Maybe it's a day to go. I didn't play tonight. Guess what I'm saying tonight, Tom?
Who are you seeing?
I think the act of Hairspray
Oh, you're gonna see Hairspray?
tonight. We're going tonight
Oh, where is it playing?
at Bristol and Hartford.
Oh wow, that's gonna be incredible. I've seen the movie. I haven't seen the play, but I love it.
So what's it? Okay, my other thing is what do you do for a living?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure, I can. What do you do for a living?
So my job in what I do for a living, so in the day, so because part of what I do for the symphony, it's volunteering. So I give my time in my personal life to volunteer for the symphony. But in my day job, I work in economic development for the state. So my job is to meet with companies and businesses all across Connecticut.
Okay.
And then I make sure that they're happy, basically, if they're growing or they're hiring more people, or maybe they're expanding, they're going to build a new facility, or maybe they're thinking about leaving the state. My job is to help them out and sort of represent the state of Connecticut to these businesses. So it's a lot of fun. It's very interesting. I get to learn a lot about a lot of different companies, and I get to go in and see how they manufacture and make things.
That's really great. And you can tell them that one of the perks in Connecticut is Special Olympics Connecticut.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I think it was Jake was next with his question, right? Jake, are you ready?
I can hear you, but I just lost the screen.
Oh, Alicia, did we finish? Did you have another question?
How can I get back on?
How can you what?
Get back on.
Get back on? Oh, you want to be in the spotlight again?
I do.
Okay, hold on, Jake. We'll come back to you in a moment.
Hi.
All right, Alicia, you got one more question for Tom?
I lost my screen. Like, how can I get back on again?
Oh, I'm not sure. We see you. You don't see us?
No, I see only Zoom.
Oh, I don't know. You might have to sign off and sign on again. I'm not sure. But we
Can
see
you hear me
you.
now?
We see you. All right, we're gonna go over to Jake. We'll come back to
computer down and then she has more space. What does time prepare? How does time? I work with the Central Connecticut State University, right? But what does Tom do for a living?
I think he was just telling us.
So that's my job, is to work with the state of Connecticut and to help Connecticut businesses.
Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for your question.
Of course. You're welcome.
Great. Thanks, Alicia. Go ahead, Jake. You're up next.
Did you remember this group, the Proclaimers? I Would Walk 500 Miles, like from the mid '80s when they first performed it, and then the early '90s. They did another song called Lady Luck.
Yes, I love that. I love that song.
I got it.
Okay, thanks, Alicia.
Do you listen to that one a lot, Jake?
Yeah, I used to, but not anymore.
What are you listening to now?
I'm listening to all the old stuff that I got for Christmas, and like heavy metal and country oldies.
Heavy metal. So your ears are they're tired after every time you take your
I
headphones
listen to
off.
rock, I listen to Foo Fighters, and
Listen to any classical music, Jake?
yeah, I do, like Guy Lombardo, Pauline Dine.
Okay.
Man, and that's good what you say. Heavy metal, that's my music.
You like heavy metal too?
Oh yeah, I got Metallica, Slayer, Pantera, and some others.
Oh man.
And Megadeth.
I definitely like some heavy metal too, but I can't listen to it for too long or I'm gonna go deaf.
I've heard some like interpretations by symphonies of heavier music.
Oh yeah, Metallica.
That's what my grandfather listens to.
Yeah, Metallica got an episode same with them. This song.
Mm. Well, I didn't know. I'll have to look into that symphony interpretations because I haven't heard any, but I know that there's a lot of interesting things that symphonies do to try and blend different genres of music and different things, kind of like that Elf movie I was saying that the Bushnell did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather's into classical. He listens to classical like most of the time, either
He
in the car
plays
or at
classical.
his house.
What do you think of Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh, that's one of
Oh,
those songs when it starts playing, you feel it's really pumping you up, right?
Yeah.
man.
Or do you also enjoy the music of Andrea Bocelli?
I love Andrea Bocelli. My dad and my mom actually went to go listen to Andrea Bocelli play in Stamford a few months ago. He was visiting, so that
Oh,
was pretty cool. And they said that it was cool too because he had his son and his daughter with him.
yeah, I heard about that, and they also played in Hartford. Like they're playing in Hartford like next. He's performing next month in Hartford, which that I've always wanted to go see him.
Again? He's coming back?
That
Yeah,
must
he
be
yeah he was like he was. I think he had canceled his tour, but in Hartford because he had something like a condition. Now he's doing or doing better. He's coming back. He's coming to Hartford though.
Yeah, that must be a very crazy lifestyle to live. You know, you travel and fly all around the world, and every day you got to wake up and sing. I bet after a while it really takes a toll on you. You just need to take a rest.
Yeah, sometimes like you need some time like to rest your voice,
Right.
and when the next day you're ready to go perform, then all you just have to do is just like probably maybe drink some water or something. Or maybe just relax relax your throat, and maybe next day you'll be like a star again, like back to being a superstar.
Yeah, have to drink some olive oil to warm up
Yeah,
your throat.
yeah, totally.
Excellent. Thanks, Nick. That's awesome. Albert, did you have a question? I thought I saw your hand go up there for a moment. Yeah? All right, you're on mute. Can you unmute
He's
yourself?
on mute.
Just press the little mute, the little microphone in the corner of your screen there. You see it? It's right in the corner, the little microphone. Just click on that. Can you unmute? I'm sorry.
There.
Maybe Virgie can help you. All right, we'll come back to you, Albert, I promise. So Tom, was there anything else you wanted to share about the performances or the music? I know you mentioned maybe sharing a little bit of the music with us, which would be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'll try and share. Oh, there you go, Albert.
Oh, Albert's back. Okay. Go ahead, Albert. What's your question?
Debbie,
Yeah.
we have the Global Messengers meeting coming up in the spring or early summer.
Yeah, we'll do one in the spring. I'm in the process of scheduling that. So I just made some phone calls this week.
Tom, would it be possible, Debbie, would it be possible if Tom can bring some of his friends from the symphony to perform at our meeting?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I would
Albert.
love that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That would be like a good thing to think about.
Can Debbie? May I invite Tom to our
Absolutely. I think you just did.
Tom, would you be able to come to our meeting? Our meeting in the spring with Debbie?
I would love to join, and I'll make sure I get the schedule from Debbie. And if somebody from the symphony can't come, then I know definitely at least we could probably bring a recording or something else that will make sure that there's music present at your event.
Oh, I have a great idea.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm very glad to be invited.
I was thinking, Debbie, I could put the Zoom on the TV and I can show everyone what song do they like and dance to.
You know what I was thinking? If it's classical music, it's softer. And I know she's not on the call, but Becca was talking about maybe doing some kind of meditation or something like that. So we're looking into doing some, working with Caitlin on some like art therapy and music therapy and
You read my mind, Deb.
But classical music would be like really like great for that, right? Just because it's so soothing and just like, Tom was talking about earlier. So we'll have to see how we can kind of put that all together. Those are really great ideas.
You mean like yoga kind of stuff? Like,
Yeah, kind of, how we did kind of Zumba last time. Maybe we kind of kick it down a notch and do something a little bit more where it's, we kind of listen to some nice classical soft music and do
I
something.
like that.
Yeah, maybe one of my board members can come and help with that as well.
Tom, what I need to ask
Florida.
you is, how do you get deaf people to listen to music when they can't hear anything?
That's a good question, and I have no idea, but I do know that there are a lot of different ways that people who have different sensory challenges are able to interact with music. So, maybe that there's something that they can touch that has some of the vibrations of the music, that allows them to be able to interact with it. But otherwise, I'm not sure. But I'll have to ask. And so next time I see you, I'll hopefully have a good answer.
Because a couple of weeks ago, we had a friend of ours who was teaching us sign language, and I was hoping he signed music to us.
I mean, I definitely know that there's some ways that people who are deaf can interact with music. And I think a lot of it, excuse me, has to do with the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, yes.
And speaking of music, I'm gonna go see a concert in April this year that I haven't never seen before. I'm a big Journey fan.
Are you gonna go see Journey?
Yeah, Journey and Toto together.
Oh wow, that sounds like a really special concert.
Yeah, I got that for an early Christmas present for my mom and dad.
Oh, that's pretty lucky.
Yeah.
I need to go to more concerts. I go to the Symphony a lot, but I don't go to too many like proper or modern concerts, and I do like it when I go. Yeah. I think the last one I went to, I saw, I think it was Bastille. Do you guys know them?
Oh, I know Bastille. I know Bastille. They did one of my favorites, Pompeii.
Oh yeah, it was a really special concert.
See, I'm learning to like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Ricky Martin a little bit.
Do you guys like opera?
I'm a huge opera fan.
I love opera.
Kelly, I can sing in Italian, by the way.
Oh wow!
Hank, you and I have to get together at some point with that.
Oh, totally.
I can sing Jackie Evenko.
Oh, Jackie Evenko, she's phenomenal.
Yes. Do you still want to sing "Bring Me to Life" by the other group?
So how did you become a member of the board of directors? How did you get that role, Tom?
So there was a lot of organizations in New Haven and all around the state, all around the country. They're always looking for more people to become involved in their board. And the reason why that a company might or an organization might have a board depends on the organization. So some organizations, they just want people to make money. Other organizations want a mix, and some really want people who are just really involved in the community and can help them think differently about what they're doing. And so I was introduced to the Symphony through the New Haven Chamber of Commerce. And then through that introduction, they came to realize all the other things that I'm doing in the community too. And they thought that was a unique perspective and experiences that I could bring to the Symphony's board. And then the process of joining a board is that you get nominated. So I was nominated to join the board, and then all of the existing members, they have a meeting, and then they all decide about whether or not I should join. and they all voted to approve me.
Mm.
So now I think it's been over a year that I've been, and I love it, and I love it every day, and I love it because it also gives me the opportunity to talk to people like you guys, who are really passionate about music, and people from so many different backgrounds and towns in Connecticut and experiences. And the one thing that everybody has in common is that they love music. And so that's really a special thing about being involved.
So do you find that most of the people that attend the symphony, do they come all the time, or are they people from out of town that visit, or who is your biggest audience, I guess?
It's a good question. It's definitely a mix because there's a lot of the people who went to the symphony for a very long time, and so now they're a bit older, and they've been going since they were young. Because back in the day, it was really it was quite a thing to go out to the symphony. Everybody used to get dressed up. Maybe they would either put on a black tie and a tuxedo, and the women would wear really beautiful gowns, and they would take fancy cars, and they would go to the symphony. And then over time, it's a little bit less formal. So you don't have to wear a tuxedo. You don't have to wear a fancy ball gown. But those people are still coming, but they're older. And so now the symphony is trying really hard to diversify its audience, invite younger people in. And so if you go to the symphony, you'll definitely see older people. You'll see younger, especially Yale students that go, because one of the places we perform is on the Yale campus. You also see a lot of students from Southern University go when we perform at Southern. And then you just sort of get everybody from all walks of life that walk into the symphony. And what I think is special about it is you just go as you are. You don't have to be a music expert. You don't have to be in a tuxedo. You don't even have to know anything about anything. If you just walk in and sit down and enjoy the music, then you're invited.
Beautiful.
Can you choose like the own music that you want, or they pick what they want to play?
So the music director, so the conductor, is the one who picks the music that's played throughout the season. So there's a musical season. So right now we're in a season, the sort of like winter. We're in the winter season. And the music director who designed what music is being played now decided this maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. And then right now, the music director is also planning what music is going to be played next year. And they decide what to play based on what they, of course, think people want to listen to. It wouldn't do them very good to play music nobody wanted to hear. But they also play it according to, maybe it's really important for them that they showcase, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so maybe they'll play music that was performed by an African American conductor, and then maybe another performance they'll do something that was written by a woman or whatever it is. So they decide all these different things to make sure that the audience is hearing unique and different music.
Because I'm a big Frozen fan, and I love Frozen.
Oh, of course, and Idina Menzel.
Yeah.
How about the work? How about the work of Leonard Bernstein?
Well, are you excited to see the new movie if you haven't already?
Oh, Maestro! That we started watching it, and then I still gotta finish it though, right? I think that I heard that was probably the best one of Bradley Cooper by far.
I heard a lot of really good things. I haven't watched it yet, and for those who don't know, Maestro is a new movie that's come out, and it's about the life of Leonard Bernstein, who's a very, very famous conductor and music director. So it looks good, and it's played by Bradley Cooper. So I like him. So he's a good actor.
Have you seen the movie Wonka yet? Because they got good songs for Wonka.
Oh, no, I haven't seen Wonka yet. Did you like it?
Well, I saw previews of it, but I haven't seen it either.
I heard that it was maybe a little, it was good, but maybe a little weird or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked weird.
But if you guys want, I'll try and play some music on here, and hopefully it's successful. And so the first thing I'll show you is a little clip of the New Haven Symphony Orchestra, so you can see what they look like and what the venue looks like that they perform in, which is really, really beautiful. It's super grand. It's at Woolsey Hall, and it's actually it's an organ hall, so it was really built and designed for the organ. But of course, all different music can be played there. And then the second video I'm going to show you is an opera song. And it was an opera song that when I was really little was special because my grandfather loved opera. And I told you I'm Italian. And so the way that I got interested in classical music was because I spent so much time growing up with my grandfather. And he was always listening to Pavarotti and the three tenors and all the famous Italian opera singers. And this was the song that, for me, is what got me especially excited about opera. So let's see. Hopefully this is going to work.
So is my grandfather. He loved to sing everything.
Was he good?
Hey, so.
Because I like to sing too, but I'm not very good.
Neither am I.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
And then let me know if when I hit play, if you can't hear anything.
Volume up.
Can you hear it?
Volume up a little bit.
All right, let's see. Well, now it's... How about now?
Wow, look at the size of those seats.
No.
It's beautiful. We're just not getting sound, Tom.
No sound?
No sound.
No sound, Tom.
I had to try.
No
Yep.
If you have the link, do you want to try to send it to me and I'll try it on my computer? I don't know if that would make a difference.
Let's see. Or what I can do actually is try and play the sound on my phone and you can see the visual.
Ah, there you go.
Ah, that's a good idea.
We're almost there.
And Debbie, it's very cold in Florida.
Is
It's
it?
cold. It's cold in Florida?
Yeah, that's where I am. I'm in Florida.
I'm going to Florida at the end of the month, and I hope it's warm when
I'm gonna go in March before you.
No. What part of Florida are you going to, Tom?
I'm going to Miami.
Oh, not me. I am in Panama City.
I'm going to Disney World in March.
Oh,
Alex, you're going to Disney?
Yep.
That's exciting. But all right, I'm going to try and play this. I'm going to try and play this again, and you guys let me know if you can't hear it from my phone, okay?
Okay. No, nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Then I go to Australia.
I hear it a little bit.
I can hear somebody talking.
Yeah, if everybody's quiet, maybe we can hear it.
But when I saw these pictures,
Yeah, I could hear the guy talking.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
All right, I think maybe it's not going to be as successful as...
It looks amazing.
But let's see.
This is my favorite instrument, is the drums.
That might be somebody's background.
Anything now?
No.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear a little bit of it.
I hear like a little bit, just a little.
Just a little.
So what I'll do is I'll just play it then without the sound, and I'll just talk about it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So what you'll do, but you'll see here, so this is the great big organ hall at Woolsey Hall at Yale. And can you see my mouse?
Yep.
So you'll see this big thing. That's an instrument. And so it's not just decoration, it's an actual instrument that they built inside the organ hall. They built it into the wall. And so when they play the instrument, the whole room shakes with the organ, and it's so powerful and it's so cool. But you can see that here's the New Haven Symphony, and you have all different kinds of instruments. So you have the strings in the front, you have the winds and the brass, and you have the harps in the background. I think harps are so beautiful. And you just get all these different instruments, and oh great, I think I just figured out the problem.
Oh, good.
Wait, are you ready? Because now I think I got it.
We're ready.
Ready.
Here it is.
Yay!
So you can see that, here they are. That's again at Yale University at Woolsey Hall. And I'll tell you a fun fact. So President Taft was so fat that they had a special seat made for him on the second floor. And,
Oh dear.
and he used to live in New Haven, but he was so big that so they made two seats, and they fused them together to make one big seat. So if you go on the second floor of Woolsey Hall at Yale, there's one extra wide seat, and that was for President Taft to accommodate his rather big bum.
I was sitting at the balcony when I saw Beauty and the Beast.
Is that, yeah, you saw, where did you see that?
Well, years ago when I used to go to New York, they took me on a school field trip, and our seats are like in the balcony section, like way on top.
Well, sometimes those are good, but sometimes it's too far away. But
Right.
I'm going to play for you now, and maybe some of you will know it, so you'll have to tell me if you've heard it before. This is the opera song that I grew up listening to that was very special to me.
I heard it before.
Oh yeah, it's just.
Libiamo, lieti carici che la bellezza infiora, e là fuggevole ora s'innebbia voluta. Libiam dolci fremiti che suscita l'amore, poiché quell'occhio al cuore onnipotente va. Viviamo, amor, fra i calici più gali magia avrà. Andiam fugace il gaudio dell'amore e un fior che nasce muore né più si può godere. Andiam, c'invito
So what do you guys think about that one?
That's
really like
mostly
that.
Italian, isn't it,
That was
Tom?
amazing, though.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that one's in Italian, and then
Okay, yeah.
and there's wonderful French opera, and there's German opera too, and there's Chinese opera, and Chinese opera is a totally different kind, but it's still really incredible.
I don't really watch opera that much anyway.
Let's raise our hands so we can, I'll get a chance to talk. Thanks.
Okay.
And I just know that we have a few minutes left. So and I don't know if Debbie, you can send around too. What I'll do is I'll give Debbie these links, and then you can watch the whole thing. And I'll also include a third surprise link in what I sent to Debbie. And that third link is these 3 German girls, and they each play a different instrument. And it's really funny because what they do is they go on stage, and one is playing the violin, and then the second one is playing her violin, but then she leans over and she starts playing the first girl's violin, and then there's a third girl who is playing the piano, and then she reaches over and she starts playing the piano. So with one hand, she's playing the other person's violin, and with the other hand, she's playing the other person's piano. And then the 2 girls on each side are then playing a different instrument. And so it's really very fun, and it's a very, very cool video, and it just shows you how talented some of these people are, that they can use their brain to play so many different things at the same time and sing and do something else. So it's a lot of fun. So I'll send the link so you could watch it later. And then hopefully next time I see you, you could tell me what you think about it.
Excellent.
That's amazing.
And Tom, I think if you could send us a schedule of the New Haven Symphony performances that I could share too. And then we can see, who's interested in attending maybe a performance. I think that'd be amazing. How many of you would be interested in that?
You're all welcome. And so I'll send you those links. I'll send you the calendar. And I mean, with just 1 minute left, I do have to jump onto another meeting, which is another thing is you get so involved and then you end up in meetings all day, because one of the other things I do is I serve on the Board of Commissioners for the New Haven Port Authority. And that's a board which oversees the activity in the Port of New Haven, which is the 2nd largest port in the Northeast. So there's a lot of exciting activity that goes on there. So I have to join that meeting just after this. But if there are any other last questions, or Debbie, or whatever you want, I'd be happy to them. Or
how about you guys? I know I see a couple hands and I don't want to just pick one. So maybe if you have a question, send them to me and I'll forward them to Tom. But I think we should just take the last minute to thank Tom. I mean, he is a busy guy. He does so much great work. He gives so much back to his community.
Thank
you, Tom. A big round of applause.
Debbie, guess we are going.
Well, thank you guys. I'm so impressed by everything that you guys do. You're really inspirational, and I love it. And you inspire me. And just as much as I'm doing in my community, you guys are doing for the community too. So you guys should
Why don't
all.
you come see us at one of our summer game sports? That way you'll see what it's like.
I would love to. I would love to. And I hope you guys give yourselves a round of applause too for all the very hard work that you
do.
Debbie. Thank you so much, Tom. If you guys have questions, you can stay on. I'll stay on for a little bit, but I know Tom has to hop off to another meeting. So we just thank you from the bottom of our heart for your time. It's been such a joy today, and thank you for sharing.
Bye, Deb. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Deb.
Be sure to watch those videos.
Absolutely.
Definitely.